In the village of Palavakam, a lethal and unidentified virus began tearing through the population. This pathogen multiplied so rapidly that it left the community with almost no time to mount a defense. Among the infected were the children of two friends, Shiva and Samaya. Both fathers watched as their children's health deteriorated, knowing they had only a few days to find a cure before the illness became terminal. The only person capable of treating the virus was a doctor located in a distant city. With no working cart available, the two men had to attempt the journey on foot, navigating a steep mountain shortcut to save time. This scenario triggers the ticking clock dilemma. As shown here, when the window for survival compresses, the psychological pressure often forces individuals to abandon their foundational morals in favor of immediate, self-interested action. The trek across the mountain became a test of this psychological pressure. The physical race against the disease was matched by an internal struggle to maintain their humanity under the weight of an impossible deadline. The mountain shortcut was a narrow 2-kilometer path cut into steep terrain. It was an isolating environment where help was unlikely to arrive for anyone who stumbled. Halfway through the journey, the fathers encountered a young couple stranded with a stalled bullock cart. The husband was in the middle of a medical emergency, doubled over in pain and unable to continue driving. Samaya viewed the encounter through a lens of extreme scarcity. He believed that every minute spent aiding a stranger was a minute stolen from his son's thinning chance of recovery, so he chose to leave the couple behind and run toward the city. Shiva made a different choice. Despite the critical state of his daughter, he stopped to fetch water from a nearby temple and stayed to provide immediate care for the suffering man. This decision cost Shiva hours. When the young man proved too weak to stand, Shiva took the reins of the cart himself, committing to drive the couple the remaining distance to their home near the city. In a crisis where time is the primary currency, Shiva's choice appeared to be a catastrophic mistake. He was spending his daughter's final hours, saving a stranger who had no clear connection to his own survival. The consequences of these two different strategies became clear the moment the men reached the city limits. Samaya reached the city clinic ahead of schedule, but his speed didn't matter. The doctor he was looking for had already left to attend to an emergency house call at a private estate, leaving Samaya with no way to proceed. This illustrates the selfishness trap. A straight-line approach that ignores the surrounding environment is highly efficient until it hits an unpredictable obstacle. Without a network or external allies, the individual has no fallback plan when they reach a dead end. Meanwhile, Shiva arrived at the estate of a wealthy landlord named Pratap. By driving the stalled cart, he had successfully returned Pratap's son and daughter-in-law to their home. A note of realization. Pratap had already summoned a physician to the estate to treat his son's pain. Because Shiva was standing in the landlord's courtyard, he found himself face to face with the very doctor both fathers had spent the day searching for. Samaya's focus on speed left him stranded in an empty office. Shiva's detour, though it seemed like a delay, actually put him in the only room where the doctor was currently available. Inside the estate, the doctor administered medicine that quickly resolved the landlord's son's stomach pain, stabilizing him within minutes. When the doctor heard that Shiva had risked his own daughter's life to help a stranger on the road, the professional dynamic changed. The doctor realized the scale of the sacrifice Shiva had made. This demonstrates reciprocal altruism. An extreme act of unprompted help overrides standard rules, creating an obligation that triggers a response far greater than the original act. The doctor reacted by abandoning his schedule, traveling back to the village with Shiva immediately. The landlord's gratitude removed the logistical barriers that had previously stood between Shiva and the medicine. By helping the son, Shiva had inadvertently secured the help of the father and the doctor simultaneously. The doctor arrived in Palavakam in time to save Shiva's daughter. Then, at Shiva's request, the doctor visited Somaya's home as well, providing the same life-saving treatment to his son. Somaya returned to the village later that night, expecting to find his son dead. Instead, he found the boy healthy, alive only because the man he had abandoned on the mountain had chosen to help a stranger. This journey suggests that moral integrity functions as a practical survival tool. The detour Shiva took to save a stranger ended up being the direct path to his own family's recovery.